just a quick video update here on the channel. Sarah and I are currently driving to Gwinn up in the Upper Peninsula to go visit the rock core repository that's in the Upper Peninsula. There's one in the Lower Peninsula, but all the UP rocks are up there, and that's what I study. But as most of you know, I'm studying the Freda sandstone. It's Precambrian. This core is great. I forget exactly how deep it is. I just never remember, but it's several kilometers, and it's the most complete core I've ever seen. Like the whole way, the recovery on this thing is like 95%, and it's the part that I'm interested in is the core. It's 4 inches wide, and then only when you get really deep does it go down to 2. Now, usually these deep cores eventually go to 1, and you can't get much out of them. But this is a very wide, very deep, and very complete core, and the entire Freda sandstone is represented in this core. And it's relatively level lying. It's flat. The beds don't really tilt. They do as you get closer to the bottom, near the Nonsuch and Harbor formations and volcanics. But anyway, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in that Freda. And the Jacobsville is above it too, and it's complete too. Well, some of the top is missing, but that's because of post-depositional erosion, and the Cambrian was put on top of it. But the Freda's all there. And so I'm going to take some. Now, I won't have to take a lot because they're 4-inch wide cores. Now, 4 inch doesn't mean literally 4 inches wide. They're more like 3.5. Kind of like a 2x4 isn't 2x4. It's 1.5 by 3.5. It's kind of like that. It's an outside diameter of a core. But it'd still be like this big around. So I don't need to take a huge length of it. It take like that much. I'm going to have to put a piece of wood in there to keep the spacing, because these things are 10-foot boxes, and you got to get 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 5 runs of 2 feet in each 10-foot box. You'll see this all. I'm going to show more, or I'm going to record more when I'm there and make an actual video of this later. But I just thought I'd get that out. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is taking samples, as most of you know, because this is a sandstone and it's relatively unmetamorphosed, even though it's Precambrian, and it's Mesoproterozoic. We know that. That means as young as it is, can be is about 1 billion years old. Now, could be a hair younger than that, but we don't think so. But I'm going to pull detrital zircons. That's why I'm taking the samples to date. Well, those of you who follow me know you cannot directly date a sandstone or any other sedimentary rock, because sand is made up of older rock. It's derived from existing rock. So any zircons, which is what I'm using to date uranium lead, will be from that parent rock. So say I have a nearby granite that's 3 billion with a B years old, and I have zircons in there that are 3 billion years old. That means that source is that granite. You can tell source area from these zircons. That's how they're most useful in sedimentary deposits. I mean, you can use some things if they're exposed to the surface, like crossbeds, but that only tells you the direction it came from. This will actually tell you where it came from. At least, assuming you don't have a bunch of really closely aged rock around there, or stuff that isn't dated, stuff like that. Mostly igneous bodies in the area where this is probably derived from have been dated. So I'm pretty confident that we can get source area from it. Another thing is, even though you can't directly date it, and this thing does have an intrusion into it, a rhyolite or felsite, something like that. It's a fine-grained felsic rock. It depends on whose paper you're reading. But that has been dated, but it's been dated to 1,062 million years, or 1.062 billion with a B. I believe it's that. If I'm off by that last digit. So we'll say 1.06 billion years. Now, the margin of error on that thing is 30 million years. So it could be as old as 1.09, which we know the formation under the Freda is about 1.8 1.8ish. So that puts us below that. And then the other way, it would be, 1.03. So it's a huge margin of error, and it's too big to lock it down. So it's a bad thing about it. But I'm thinking these detritus at different levels to see not only if the source area changes, but to see where those zircons are, see if they're consistent, and so I can determine a maximum age. Remember, in a sedimentary rock, you cannot be older than your youngest zircon, but you can be younger than that youngest zircon. So I can't get a top date. Now, we know it's not Cambrian. So if the youngest zircons I get are 1 billion on the head, then I know it's 1 billion or younger. But I have to be careful because it could have started getting deposited a lot later. So if that 1 billion's at the bottom, then I know that's its maximum age. And it can't be older than that, but it can be younger. Anyway, this is getting long. I said I'm going to take video for you, the core repository. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you didn't see this while it was premiering, have a good day.